Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you this evening. This is my first Wellness Rev training. So I'm so excited. It's been an absolute blessing to merge with everyone on this platform and have so many incredible leaders that are giving their 2 cents on how they built this business. Some of you might not know me. Our lineage kind of starts with me. I have no special nothing really special about me. It's just I've been very, very consistent. I'm what you would call like an old school network marketer. I'm very much belly to belly, person to person. I wasn't in the rush at the I mean, my energy was there. I had a lot of energy when I first started LifeWave in July of 2022. I was excited. I took action immediately. At the time, I had about 14 years actively working network marketing. So I have some history underneath my belt and I knew like what it takes to be successful. But I've never really been someone who is big in the social media space. It is a tool that I definitely feel like I'm leaving it on the table. It is the largest marketing platform in the world to where you can expose yourself to millions of people to share this LifeWave opportunity with. I just I haven't committed to it fully yet. Okay. So what I like about my story is whether you do both, like Jay and Jimena and Kendall, how they can do both, or maybe someone like me who that's just not your comfort zone and you do need to kind of explore that more, you can still be very successful in the space. So kind of what I wanted to talk about today was how I built my business when I first got started here at LifeWave, really when I first got started in this industry, and how I've learned to be really successful, because people are attracted to this industry because of one major factor: community. Right? Community. People come in because at first they just think, oh, that's a great product. I want healthy stem cells. I want more peptides, right? And then they start to get a little taste of the community and start to share with some of the people that they love. And before you know it, they're in it for life, right? People join because of the community. So just a little bit of my history. If you were at Destin, you know a lot about me. Okay. That's what is so wonderful about these events that we do. We actually have one coming up in April, in about a month, a little more than a month. Um, and that's really where I believe a lot of our community is built. And the last time that we were there in January, I shared a lot of in-depth information about my past and where I came from. So just for a little cliff note, so you guys kind of know where I'm coming from. Before joining network marketing at the age of 18, which was 2005, that's right, I'll turn 40 this year. I was introduced to this industry by my boyfriend, now husband's uncle. And I trusted Devin at the time, who was my boyfriend, and I trusted his uncle. And at the time, I was 18 years old, drop out of high school, a lot of turmoil in my childhood, a lot of trauma. You name it, I've been through it. Okay, we just leave that there. My family didn't have a lot of money, so I always had a good work ethic. I've always been close to God, and those things helped me along the way. But I never had anyone who was going to give me a hand up financially. Like from dropping out of high school, I was kind of going from when I entered the space of network marketing, I worked at a gym, I babysat, I worked at a tanning salon, and I worked at a restaurant. I was working 4 jobs at 18 just to get by. I'd been on my own since I was 15 years old. So when I was introduced to this space, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, hold on. I don't have to go like to college. I don't need to go get a bank loan, and I can make that kind of money. All I have to do is follow the leader and do what these people who've already walked the path to do. Just do what they tell me to do and say this and repeat the things they say with this wonderful product, and I could do that. I could create that kind of, to me, that gift of desperation and that childlike faith, it was a no-brainer. So in my first industry, it wasn't huge, but in my first company, I got up to about $100,000 a year. And for an 18, 19, 20-year-old, that was great. My boyfriend, husband at the time, 7-figure income. So I got to help him grow, and I had my own business. It was phenomenal. We were out of this space for a while, but back in those times, there was no social media. There was no Zoom. right? We had just belly to belly, and we experienced a lot of success with that belly to belly. So that's kind of where I was birthed into this industry. And then comes along LifeWave in 2022. I thought I was done with the space because I thought that this industry had really gone down the road of you have to have a social media presence. And I just thought I wasn't fit for network marketing anymore. Fast forward, my husband and I we'd started many businesses. We've had a couple kids and got married. Pretty successful in the traditional business place realm. I just thought my journey was done. And then LifeWave, like all of you know, all of us on this call, we can't deny it. Like when we saw this product, this timing, this opportunity, what David Schmidt has, the exclusivity of it. Like for me, I couldn't deny it. So I'm going to do this. I'm not really going to go down the social media route, but I'm going to do this. So I went back to my belly to belly, and I learned the presentation. I immediately got uncomfortable. I immediately started booking Zooms. I had no idea what I was talking about. I really, truly had no idea how this technology worked until right about 6 to 7 months in. All I was doing was reading the slides and telling a story of a testimony, reading the slide and telling my story of that slide. After repetition, I started to get better and better. So did I experience this massive explosion at the beginning of hitting the top rank and breaking up? No, because I had my own story, my own journey. God had my own route for success, right? But guess what I did do? Over time of doing those income producing activities, it compounded over time. And the 95 people that I've shared it with has now turned into over 50,000 people. And a lot of us on this team have our different skills. And that's where I really think where these teams can scale, because we can all come to the table and share our skills where everyone can take a piece of that pie. But today, I'm going to share with you where I have found success in my style of network marketing, and that is that belly to belly. So for several of you on this call who might not know me, kind of don't know my story, that's really where I came from, and why I'm really excited to share with you guys. So I was today scrolling on social media, waiting to pick my kid up from school, and I saw a reel, and this girl was sharing a pie chart of all the millionaires in the world and what millionaires do for a living to make millionaire status money. And I thought it was really interesting. And then I don't always go just listen to, people on social media. So I went to ChatGPT and I wrote a whole thing, and I'm like, all right, ChatGPT, I want you to scour the internet, go through all the studies and stats, and I want you to tell me out of all the studies done, what do most millionaires do for a living? And I want to share this chart with you. This was made by ChatGPT today, okay? And it says how most millionaires build wealth, research-based estimates. Entrepreneurs and business owners make up 55% of this pie chart. Investors and finance make up 28%. Employees, now when we're talking employees, ChatGPT made a point to say these are mostly people in executive levels who have some sort of stake in the company, but more of an executive level in a business, okay? So employees make up 15%. Artists and entertainers, and athletes make up between 0.5% to 1.5%. So it's such a small chance that you're going to get into that piece of the pie. But you can see here, where are most millionaires made? In that entrepreneurial space, okay? And I mean, these numbers were taken from Forbes magazines. There was one study that did an analysis of over 10,000 millionaires. These are real numbers, guys. So I was kind of excited to see that, because an entrepreneur has to do 3 things. They have to either invest one or all 3 of these: invest time, energy, or money. Sometimes you don't need all 3. We all know here in direct sales, you really don't have to put a lot of money up front. That is kind of the catch-22. It's great because anyone can get started, broke, busted and disgusted 18-year-old Sarah, right? I could get started and create something beautiful, right? Or you can take super successful people that can join this, and we join at the same level, and we're paid for our efforts and what we put into it. So it's great that we have that everybody has hope in this business, but at the same time, someone can look at this and go, I got nothing to lose, right? Like, I only got $250 invested. I'll just keep wearing the patch. So sometimes that's why we have such a turnaround rate where people come and go so quickly in this business. It's great, but at the same time, it's kind of our Achilles heel, right? So, but when I read that today, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, do we realize what we have our hands on? If you think that you're going to be able to break that seal and reach heights that you never thought you could ever hit, and it reminded me of where I got started in this business. If I would not have taken that step and entered the space of being an entrepreneur in the direct sales industry, I would never be where I'm at now. And what I did is I invested time and energy in hosting events and building my business through connections. And I'm going to get into how I did that today. Okay. So when you're starting this business, what is the best way to start this business? With energy. Okay. Not with confidence, not with knowledge, with energy. And that's something I do not lack. Okay. I honestly have a little bit too much energy. Okay. If you study every successful network marketing organization in the world, I've met a lot of successful people. I have some people I went to high school with that are successful in other companies. What do they all have in common most of the time? They create connection, community, and belief. Those three things, those are the three ingredients to be successful in network marketing: creating connection, community, and belief. And belief doesn't happen through a website, right? Belief doesn't happen just by saying, oh, here, go to, startx39now.com, and that it gives information, it educates, but it doesn't give belief. Okay. It doesn't happen with a PDF. You don't give someone a brochure and they're excited to start their LifeWave business. Where this excitement comes from and belief comes from is when you get around other people. And that's why home meetings, they're my favorite. I would say out of any of these, home meetings are my favorite, but not everybody you introduce this to or your team members are going to be in a vicinity around you where you can get to them. But I do love home meetings, Zoom meetings, and large events, major functions, or semi-major functions, because people don't just buy products, they buy belief. And there's something so powerful about being around people and sharing this opportunity with people. Okay. So in my opinion, the reason why home meetings work so well, home meetings are not just the most powerful tools in network marketing, or they are the most powerful tools in network marketing because the environment changes anything. Think about when you walk into someone's home, whether it's a friend of a friend, or it's your aunt's house, or in my instance, it was my brother-in-law who introduced this to me at first. You feel relaxed, you feel safe, you feel like you're just hanging out with friends. You're not getting pitched by a stranger. You're not sitting in a conference room. You're being introduced to something by someone you trust. And that is so powerful. So I don't know if you guys have yet hosted your own home meeting. Give it a try. Okay. My personal experience when I do home meetings, which I've been in LifeWave now for about 4 years. I've probably done close to 100 meetings in 4 years. It's my sweet spot. I love it. I thrive in that space. In my experience, even from when I first got started, I had no idea how the patch worked, right? I have always had between an 80 to 90% success rate of people enrolling at events. I have had events where 100% of people, I went to an event one time in Tampa with 17 women, and we had 17 enrollment forms walking out of that event. Okay. And there's nothing that makes me special. Okay. It's because of the environment that I'm in. It is powerful. People in that room, they get to ask questions. They get to hear testimonies. They get to feel our energy, and seeing other people get excited is when belief spreads fast. So let me give you a little story about that. I have a friend of mine named Butter, and his real name's Brian. It's his college name. He has had success in our last company. We've done Zooms for him. Finally, I was like, listen, man, your mom, I know she has what it takes. I need to get over there, and we need to do a home meeting for your mom. She lives in Melbourne. So from where I live, it's about a 2.5-hour drive. And her community is more of a older community in Melbourne Beach. And she said, Sarah, I'm going to need you here on a Saturday. I'm like, oh, man, I don't like giving my Saturdays up, but hey, let's do it. I booked it about a month out. My daughter joined softball. Her first opening weekend on her new team, guess what day it landed on? The day of Miss Karen's home meeting in Melbourne. Did I cancel it? No, right? There's some sacrifices we have to make. I committed to her. My daughter has a lot of games. She understood that mommy has to make some sacrifices to be successful. I got in my car on that Saturday, kissed my daughter goodbye. My husband took her to the game, and I went to the event. Karen has been in the business now for 2 years sharing. She has signed maybe 2 or 3 people in. Since doing that event that she had been promoting for, she has signed 9 people in. Okay, 9 people from that one event. Her business went from 0 to hero from one event. She actually messaged me today. She's having me come back next month because of the success she's seen. And now people in the community want to start sharing. Even the customers want to share because they want to get their product for free. Okay, so that's just a little, it's just getting in. And some of these people, I've already met them on Zooms. It's just being face to face and belly to belly and being able to meet people. Another thing that I love about these events is the leadership factor. One of the biggest mistakes people make in this business is consistently handing the torch to their upline. Okay, and I'm not saying in your first 90 days, your first couple of months in the business, we owe it to you. I will hold the torch. You are a brand new baby in this business. I will hold your hand. I will help you with meetings. I will get on 3-way calls. I will do anything you need. I work for you the first 90 days, right? That's how I work this business, right? I teach you, I educate you, but eventually you have to take that torch and you have to go get a medal your own. You have to elevate yourself in this business. You can't just always be like, hey, let me get my leader in the chat. My upline will explain it. Let me get someone else to prevent. People, when they see that, there's nothing wrong with support. Don't get me wrong. I still have leaders that need me, and sometimes I need them because they have different skills than me. We're always going to be there for each other, and we're always going to utilize each other's strengths. But eventually something has to happen. There has to be a shift. You have to step forward because people follow the leader they see, not the leader behind the scenes. Okay. You have to take ownership of your business. Right now, my husband, Devin, we have an RV park in Georgia that we've had for years, and it's never been some huge thing, but it's nice little residual side income. It's not a big place, but Devin got an opportunity a couple months ago from a local college there where they want to turn our RV park into a dorm for the baseball team, like dorms for the baseball. And it's a way bigger financial opportunity. So we have a couple partners with that job, and some of them can't make it and can't go up there. You know what my husband did? He said, I am not waiting. I'm getting in my car. So for the last month during the week, my husband's gone. I'm single mom in it. And he's up there plumbing in, building dorm rooms. I mean, a tornado hit the building last night. I woke up this morning and it's like he's sacrificing. He took the torch. He's up there spending his time, his energy, and all of their money building a business. That's what entrepreneurial takes. It's moving forward. Okay. So I can't stress enough that you have to take ownership of your business. You have to get uncomfortable. If you're sitting around just waiting on your upline to host these events after you've been in this business for a couple of months, your comfort zone is where dreams die. I'm telling you guys, I have been more uncomfortable in this industry than anything that I have ever done, but it has rewarded me tenfold out of you could take all the businesses we've ever done, and by making myself uncomfortable in this industry, it has rewarded me more than all of those businesses combined because I go all in and I get uncomfortable. Okay. So you have to do that yourself. All right. If you find yourself just real comfortable building, that means you're doing something wrong. All right. So I just wanted to have that little cliff note in there because it is important. We will come, we will launch you, we will get you on your feet, but eventually you guys got to step up and you got to start doing these events. Okay. Now let's go back to the meetings. When your prospects where are we going with the meeting? So how to promote, let's go there. So when you're promoting a home meeting, promotion is everything. Promotion is everything in this business. We know we have our daily like 10-1, right? Where we have to contact 10 people a week, sponsor those 2 people, we all know what we have to do on a daily basis. But outside of that, what are you doing every single day that's going to move your business forward while you're prospecting? It's promoting. You want to be promoting events. You want to be promoting your Zooms. You want to have launch meetings booked and you're promoting those launch meetings. You want people excited and curious. You don't want to get on these calls when you're inviting people to these events and tell them all the details. If you get on these calls and you're like, hey, Sharon, how are you doing? Oh, well, hey, I have this event going on next week. It's about this technology, about this device that elevates a peptide, and this peptide can activate. And you get into all these details, and then they talk and they're like, well, you just shared it all with me. Let me do a little bit of research and I'll get back to you. No, you want them excited, right? You want them curious. You want them to come and learn more at this educational event that's going to be hosted at your house. All right. I do like to have people kind of promote a little 30 days. Sometimes it can get lost in the minutia. Really, the sweet spot for promoting events is about 7 to 10 days out. Okay. It's easy to call someone and go, hey, listen, I got this event going on. It's going to be in a week to 10 days. What's your schedule look like next Thursday? I'd love to invite you as my guest. We're hosting a wellness night at our house. Or, hey, a friend of mine is coming to share some really interesting technology that I think can add so much value because I know what you've been dealing with your back lately. What's your schedule look like? That's the type of conversations you need to be having when promoting these events. Don't overwhelm them with the details. All right. You're going to have analysis of paralysis. You want curiosity fills the room. So just make sure when you're promoting these events, you're promoting it from a place of curiosity. My favorite way to invite people, obviously you can market it online if you want, throw a thing up, talk about it in your stories, and that's good. Okay. But my number one is a phone call. I build a list of people of my dream team to be in that room and I call them, right? If I send a text and they don't respond, to me, that just means they're not showing up. If I send a text and they don't respond, I call them. Hey girl, did you get my text? Right? People, they appreciate you going out of your way. Think about if you were having a birthday party. Like when I threw a surprise birthday party for my husband, I didn't just send a max text out. I called all his best buddies. Make sure you don't say anything. Make sure you, right? You want to treat this like that, okay? So people show up for people, not for presentation. So build the curiosity, the community, and what you're going to be creating in that space. Let's talk about setting up the meetings as far as the energy in the room. When guests arrive, I like them to arrive about 30 minutes before the presentation starts, and I put that in my invitation. So arrive at 6:30. I've always felt like the sweet spot for meetings is starting at 7 o'clock, especially with this time change. I never let the presentation go longer than an hour. You will lose everyone. Everyone. That goes for Zoom calls. I actually like to keep my Zoom calls 30 minutes. I always like, woohoo, if I get off and it's been 30 minutes, I'm so proud of myself. But definitely these in-person events, you want to keep it 30 minutes. You want to smile. You want to talk. You want to offer some drinks. Listen, I'm not a huge snack girl at these events. If you want to have maybe some crackers and some cheese and maybe a fruit plate, keep it simple, because what you're doing is you're showing people how you build your business. And if you go and put a charcuterie spread that cost you $200, maybe your friend Susan in the room who is working paycheck to paycheck, she's going to look at that and go, I can't throw something like this, right? You want to be duplicatable. And you really want to let people mingle a little bit, let everybody get comfortable, okay? You want an environment that feels like friends hanging out, not a sales presentation. So talking about being prepared for these events, before the meeting starts, you want to make sure everything's ready to go. Nothing kills momentum faster than 10 minutes trying to figure out like how to set your computer up to the TV and people watching you sweat and struggle. I actually like to show up to the event 30 minutes before anyone gets there. You want to have the tools that I have to do a meeting. I walk in with a backpack as the speaker. I have a computer. I always make sure they have a TV that I can hook up to. Most of the time I can just stream my screen right to the TV, but you want to also go to like a Best Buy or go on Amazon and just get an HDMI connector. You can stick it right in the side of your computer and stick an HDMI cord into your computer and click it right into the back of the screen, change the input, and bam, you're in business. I bring a computer, enrollment forms, patches, and that's it. I keep it super simple, okay? I wrote a list down so I didn't forget anything. Okay, so these are the things that I have on hand when guests arrive. Patches on hand so people can see and feel the product. I like to patch every single person when they walk in the room. Enrollment forms ready, just in case people want to get started. You don't want someone trying to sign people up in the back of the room. It can get confusing in a line. I will always have enrollment forms. I talk about the enrollment forms when I'm presenting. You want slides ready to go on your computer and up there on the screen. So when we talk about slides, thank you, Jay Atkins and Justin and Lola. They have made this so dummy proof for us. If you go to wellnessrev.org, you click get on board, and then you simply click resources. I don't know how fast my computer is going to go. Oh, I'm sorry, not get on board. You're going to go right here to resources, and you're going to scroll down and looky there. There's the opportunity call. And the coolest part about this is I used to have some people who might not be computer savvy and be like, Sarah, how do you download it? Where do I how do I do this? You can literally present this right from your computer. You click on these little arrows right here, click presentation mode, and looky there. You've got the presentation streaming right from the website. So now when I do presentations, I go right to wellnessrev.org, click on resources, click on the presentation, click the arrows, presentation mode. It's all at our fingertips. Okay, guys? And I know some of this to some of you might sound elementary, but just so I can show you guys how simple this is, I don't want you having any excuses of why you're not out there building this business. So make sure slides are ready to go at wellnessrev.org. Make sure your presentation is set up. Make sure the TV screen and everyone can clearly see the slides. The correct cord and adapter, right? It's always in my backpack. It never leaves my backpack. You also want to make sure that the meeting flows smoothly. You want to look professional. I don't show up in flip-flops and jeans. I have a nice outfit on. People are going to take you more serious if you are dressed professional. And then people take the opportunity more serious as well, right? Presentation shows leadership, and leadership builds trust. Okay, so it's that simple. All right, so you're up there, you're giving the presentation. How does the presentation flow? If it's your home meeting, I would like for you and your husband, or you and your spouse, or just you, get up, introduce everyone, thank everybody for coming, and then you give the presentation. Let's say I'm going to your house to help you launch your business and do an event for you. You as the host, I expect for you to get up and edify me. I know that sounds kind of cringy to say it out loud, but it's very important in this business. Edification is powerful, okay? The host should always introduce the speaker. And why is that? Because when someone else speaks highly of you, people listen differently, okay? I wrote an example down. I'm really excited for tonight. Sarah's helped thousands of people learn about this technology and has helped build an incredible community. That small little introduction instantly builds trust to these people listening to a stranger. Then myself, I give my 5-minute story. What was my life like before LifeWave? What is it like now? And how has this opportunity changed my life? It's 5 minutes, and then I get right into the presentation. Like I said, keep it 45 minutes to an hour. You want to cover the science, the technology, the vision, the real life stories. I always take time for testimonies. I will scan the room beforehand and let the host know, hey, you need to have 1 or 2 testimonies ready for when I get to that slide. In my opinion, that's where the whole shift happens, is when other people get in the room and stand up. It is the most important part of your entire presentation. Now, at the end, when you're done, I am not a Q&A girl. Maybe you have someone in the room that had a fight with their husband this morning, okay? And they're just want to take it out on somebody. I don't like Q&As in front of a crowd. I close the meeting. I end with a call to action with the enrollment form. I like to offer people a couple patches to get started if they enroll today. It's always been something that has gotten people to sign up at the events because they can start the patch tomorrow. They don't have to wait for their patches to come in. And I lead with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So at the end is when then I mingle and I go around and I'll say, I'm going to stay around for about 30 minutes. If anyone has questions, and it's just, you can feel the energy in the room. Okay, guys, how fun did that sound? Can you do that? Right? Can you read the slide and tell your story? Keep it short, keep it fun. Okay. And listen, I get it. Most of my business, my biggest team when I first started wasn't in my backyard. I was doing meetings. It wasn't in my backyard. It just so happened to be built with a beautiful human being named Yazdan. He's been my friend since I was 18. He was in our last company. We called him up. He was ready to go. He's an awesome communicator. He's great in his community. And how did we start with Yazdan? When we started building in Minnesota, I live in Florida, we didn't start with a big event. I wasn't like, hey, Yazdan, get 50 people in a room. I'm going to be up there. We started with one-on-one Zoom calls. Yazdan really didn't understand. He had kind of a language barrier and he couldn't really understand. I barely understood it at the beginning. I was just reading the slides, but we worked well together. So we started on one-on-one Zooms. All of a sudden, those one-on-one Zooms turn into weekly group Zooms where I would host an event for that team once a week so we could build community, right? We have these Wellness Rev calls that are amazing, right? And you need it to scale large, but to build my teams, I would start on those weekly group Zooms. Over time, a community started to form, okay? Eventually, we had 10 leaders promoting our Zoom calls. My Zoom calls were getting up to 30 to 40 people. So what did we do? We set a date. We set a goal of how many people we all wanted there. Our goal was about 80 people. We booked a room through Barb Abler, and I booked my plane ticket. We flew out there. We expected 80 people. You want to know what happened? Over 150 people showed up to our first event. I was literally crying in the background. There were people leaving because there weren't parking spots and no seats available. It was standing room only. People had to leave because there were no seats. Why? Because the foundation had already been built by building Zooms and building a community and stepping up. I wasn't getting my upline to jump on the call. It was me. I was the one going out. I was the one building my business. Okay. So, and what has all of this, how did this all start with me? I followed a leader who had already done the path. They were doing weekly Zooms. So you know what I did? I started doing weekly Zooms. They were doing regular home meetings. I started doing regular home meetings. They were consistently communicating. I started to do the same. Community grows through consistency. Momentum comes from consistency. If you keep starting and stopping, all right, I had a great 2 weeks on business. I'm so excited. And then something in life happens and it knocks you down and you don't talk about LifeWay for 2 weeks. That's going to set you back a month. Right? You've got to keep pushing forward 1 hour a day. My commitment to this business, to my family, to my future, since I started, to God, because God has given me the business that I have, I give him all the glory, was 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day, I'm going to go out and share this business. Okay. There's so much power in that. And what happens when you build the community and you build that consistency? There is something called residual income. And I really don't feel like now, listen, I can't promise you income. I'm talking about my business, what I've put into it, and what many people in my business have done and Crossline have done. I've seen it happen in this business over and over again. And what I have experienced from being consistent with these compounding effects. Okay. The power of residual income. Most people live their entire life like I was when I was 18, working 5 jobs, trading time for money. Work an hour, get paid once. Then I got to go back and work another hour to get paid once. But residual income works differently. You build something one time, right? I go and do that meeting. I share information. We have customers sign in. They become lifelong customers. And guess what? Every month, I might never talk to that person ever again. They're somewhere in my downline and they're just a happy customer. But guess what? Every month when they order, ding, ding, it's residual. Right? Residual income just works differently. You build something one time and it can pay you again and again and again. Think about this. What if the effort you put in today creates income for your family for years? That's the power of building a network and building a team. Okay. So I guess where I'm going with all of this is I just want to challenge everyone. And trust me, I'm going to be on the call whenever we're talking about social media because there are places where I can improve. I am leaving a huge lottery ticket on the table when it comes to social media. It is a powerful tool. I'm not saying don't use that, but maybe if you've been in this business for a minute and you have not yet stepped out of that comfort zone of presenting, this is an age-old industry. And really what it's built off is community. And you can never go wrong with a home meeting. Start small. Okay. I'm going to challenge everyone tonight. Set your first home meeting. Even if you've been in for a while, right? Let everyone know in your area you're going to be doing it. If 3 people show up, you celebrate those 3 people. 5, 10 people, you celebrate them. I have flown across the United States and 10 people have shown up. And we have built huge teams out of those 10 people because I showed up with energy, excitement. We trained, we connected, we got them to Destin, we got them to a major function because they saw the energy I put into it. And something grew out of that. Every leader in this industry starts the same way. Small rooms, simple conversations, and 1 person at a time. So I don't know, guys. I don't want to go too long. I've already been on for 40 minutes, but there is just sometimes I don't think there's enough energy put into the power of a meeting and the power of a Zoom call. And I'm so grateful to the leadership on this team that's willing to go out of their way and host these calls and just pour into you. But at some point, you got to say, I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my future. I've got to get uncomfortable. I'm going to go break the seal and I'm going to go do an event. And then I'm going to book another event. I'm going to tell you a very important part about these events. You always want another one booked. My biggest mistake when I went to go see Karen, and I've been kicking myself in the butt because I've done this for years, is I didn't have an event booked for Karen's next event. So when we were all there, we could start promoting the next event at that event, right? Even if it's once a month or every 8 to 10 weeks, you want to go and you want to do these things. Build a community in your backyard. It's so easy. Okay, guys. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank you for letting me just sew into you tonight. If you have any questions, maybe throw them in the chat. I can, if we want to take maybe 5 minutes, or maybe unmute your mic, you can ask a question. I'm more than happy to do that. Take about 5 minutes. Anybody? Oh my gosh, Jonah, yes, I will come to Tampa. Tampa's 45 minutes from me. I do
Okay,
meetings.
45.
Yes.
Okay. I have
Okay.
people interested. I haven't you. Like, not what's the best way to pack it full of at least 40 people? That's my goal, is at least 40 to get you there.
Okay, well, I can do less than 40. I love that goal. Let's shoot for the stars. But I mean, really and truly, when I'm doing, if you're only that close, if you're within like 2.5 hours from me, I'm like, hey, if you can get 10, 15 people in a room, let's roll. You can build so much momentum off that. But oh my gosh, 40 is, you want to talk about setting your business on fire. You can get 40 people to your first event. That's great. But I'm telling you guys, 5, 10, 15 people, that it's powerful, right? Who you got when you start to invite home? Who do you guys start to invite to home and second time? On and I don't understand what that question is. Like, who would you invite to into your house? So when I, like, let's say tomorrow, I just moved to Crystal River. I'm due for a home meeting here. I haven't done one yet. So what I would first do if I was just going to do one here is I would do a blanketed, social media story and be like, hey, I'm going to be hosting something at my house. All my friends who watch my stories, reach out to me if you're interested. I'm not going to share my address online, right? But I'm, reach out to me. But then, like I said, I would build a list all of my people that when I see them and it's like a conversation, like I'm at the gym the other day, there's a lady named Sharon there that I love to death. Every time I see her, I call Sharon. Sharon, hey, remember those patches we talk about every time we're together? I'm hosting a meeting. You haven't jumped on my Zoom. I need you there next Thursday. Okay, Sarah, sounds great. Click. That's kind of how I would go through. Make a goal. I think my house right now, it's a little Airbnb, could fit about 15 people, butts and seats. Fill my room up. That's how I would start. Now the next one, you want to have one booked 2 weeks later. So that's how I would always do it. 10 to 15 days out to do another one, and that would build momentum. Come to Key West. I mean, pull my arm. All right, I'll come to Key West, girl. We have a great team who would love to host you. I would love that. And then this is the deal we have to make. I come down and host, but then you're doing the next meeting. I want to see you guys elevating as leaders, and I want to see you getting uncomfortable and you getting up there. We want you on stage with us. We want you guys hosting these Zooms. We want you to have teams on these Zooms. We want that, okay? I struggle with how to start the conversation with people. Share. I'm okay doing the presentation. It's just the initial talk. Okay, Kelly, I get that. And what I've noticed is I don't ever like walk up to someone, and I've seen it happen. Yazin is the king of this, just walking up to someone and being like, you need this patch. And he doesn't care if you tell them no. I'm a little bit more shy than that. So typically when I get into a conversation with people, people like to talk about themselves, and I honestly like to listen. Okay. I think people are so interesting. And that's really how I've gotten very far in life, even when times were hard, is just engagement and communication and connection. It's always been a kind of a skill that I've naturally had. A stranger will tell me all their secrets. It's weird. So what I've always done is when I meet someone, you ask questions, you compliment them, find something, whether it's the way that they speak or their hair or their teeth or their outfit, you compliment them and you get them. That's how you build trust, right? And the conversation always leads to, what do you do for a living? My goal is always to, and I don't talk about all the other things we do. Talk about LifeWave. I go, oh, well, you see this little thing on the back of my neck? See this little device? I've been with this company now for 4 years. Absolutely changed my life. I swear. And I just tout on the product side of it. You get them to ask questions, right? And then we lead into, well, hey, I actually have an event, because if you're doing them every other week, you're always going to have one booked. I have an event at my house next Thursday. What are you doing next Thursday night? I'd love to have you over. You be my special guest. That's simple, right? So engagement, complimenting, asking them questions about themselves, they're naturally going to rebuttal that. Any leader near Pittsburgh? I can do a Spanish. So if you're in Pittsburgh, reach out to Miriam. She wants to connect with you. I overthink it and I stress myself out. Yes, fear, false evidence appearing real. Fear will cripple you, right? People are looking for what we have. There's just, it's crazy because when Lifeway first blew up, the whole thing was all about stem cells, right? In my opinion, peptides are way hotter than stem cells right now. Everyone is talking about them. Everyone wants access, but everyone's scared of them. Everyone's scared of injecting peptides. There's not enough research. It's the wild, wild west. People want what we have. We have the safe, effective, affordable, right? So you just leap from that space. Keep it simple. Don't oversell the patch. Just keep it simple. Talk with excitement, and that fear will melt away. And the more you talk about it, the easier it comes out. Okay. The reason why you guys can see me do a presentation in my sleep is because I've done it 72,000 times. Okay. When I first started doing it, it sounded horrible, but I got it out and I got better every single time. Okay. All right, guys. So it's been 45 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I actually have to jump on another call at 8 o'clock. We have a surgeon. It's a private call. He's one of the top surgeons in the United States, orthopedic surgeons, whose daughter is actually having miracles with this patch. And he's going to get on a call with me with a couple people. So we got some really exciting things going on. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. God bless you. I'm so excited to be here with Wellness Revolution. We have so many exciting things happening. And listen, Destin, you want to hear the stories. You want to have the connection. You want to leave so fired up going into the busiest time of the year for network marketing, which is coming up now. It's coming up through the end of spring, summer, right? It's the busiest time for network marketing. Then you got to be at Destin. We have such a great event happening. So make sure you guys go to wellnessrev.org. There's a link there. Get your spot. We want you guys there. We want to connect with you. We want to build community. So God bless you. Everyone have a good night, and we will see you here in a little bit.